Cinderella, the magical journey of an enchanted fairy tale. Before you start, remember to like the video and subscribe to the channel to see more stories like these and learn the secrets of the best fantasy adventures. Once upon a time, in a kingdom far, far away, there was an enchanted place where anything could become possible. A sweet girl named Cinderella lived in a small country house with her heart full of dreams and hopes. Even though life was not easy, her smile warmed the hearts of everyone who met her. The sky above the kingdom shone, the flowers swayed in the gentle breeze, and it seemed that magic was always nearby, even for someone as special as Cinderella. But Cinderella's life was anything but easy, as she had to deal with the daily hardships of her strict stepmother and two unbearable stepsisters. But you know what? Cinderella never gave up, and this is her incredible story. Cinderella lived with a stepmother who had a heart as cold as ice and hands ready to point out chores. "Cinderella, sweep the floor," she would order. "Cinderella, prepare lunch." Her stepsisters were no better. They strutted all day, argued about who was prettier, and shouted orders left and right. But despite everything, Cinderella always remained kind. She never complained and faced the days with optimism. How did she do it? Well, she had small and faithful friends, the chirping birds and the funny mice who loved to be near her. Cinderella knew that the secret of happiness was to find beauty even in the small moments. One beautiful sunny morning, as Cinderella was sweeping the floor, her friends, Goofy the Mouse, Cece the Sparrow, and their friends, came to keep her company. "What would you do if you could have one wish?" Cinderella asked, laughing. The birds chirped, as if to say, "I wish to fly higher." But Cinderella's secret wish was not to fly, but to have a day when her life would be filled with joy and love. "And who knows," she whispered with a smile to the wind, "maybe one day all the good things will come to me too." One day, while the stepsisters were arguing about who should be served first, a royal messenger knocked on the door. The announcement made the hearts of every girl in the kingdom beat faster. The prince was throwing a grand ball at the palace, and all the young girls were invited. The stepsisters burst into shouts of joy. "Oh, the prince will choose me to be his bride," said one. "No, he will choose me," retorted the other. Cinderella listened in silence, her eyes full of hope. "I could go too," she thought. But her stepsisters burst out laughing. "You? Look at how you're dressed," they said scornfully. Despite her stepsisters' laughter, Cinderella would not give up. With the help of her animal friends, she collected old ribbons and scattered pearls and decorated a simple dress. "It may not be the most elegant, but it is made with love," she said with a smile. But the stepsisters, seeing the dress, became furious. "How dare you think you can compete with us?" they screamed as they tore the dress to shreds. Cinderella, heartbroken, ran into the garden. There, her tears glistening in the moonlight, she confessed, "There will never be a happy ending for me." But just at that dark moment, a flash of light illuminated the garden. Magic sparkled in the air and boom. A gentle woman appeared, with slightly crooked glasses and a radiant smile, her fairy godmother. "Oh, my dear girl," said the fairy, smiling, "tears do not become such a sweet face. Tonight you are going to the ball." The fairy godmother raised her wand and the magic began. With a touch of sparkle, a pumpkin transformed into a golden carriage, mice became elegant horses, and the old torn dress transformed into a dream dress. "And these will come in handy," said the fairy, handing her a pair of beautiful glass slippers. Do you remember what time the magic will vanish? Write it in the comments and remember to subscribe to the channel and leave a like on the video. But remember, warned the fairy, the magic will vanish at midnight. Don't forget that, dear. Cinderella arrived at the palace like a true dream, all eyes were fixed on her, and a murmur of admiration ran through the hall. The prince, fascinated by her beauty and grace, immediately came forward. "Would you have the honor of dancing with me?" he asked in a sweet voice. Together they danced as light as feathers, while the palace filled with magical music. Everywhere they went, it seemed as if there was no one else in the world. The bells in the tower began to ring 12, and Cinderella remembered her fairy godmother's warning. "Oh no, it's midnight," she said in a desperate tone. Leaving the bewildered prince, she ran down the palace stairs. Just as she reached her carriage, one of her delicate glass slippers slipped off her foot and landed on the palace steps. Before the prince could stop her, Cinderella had disappeared into the night. The next morning, the whole kingdom was in turmoil. The prince had decided to look for the mysterious girl who had lost the glass slipper. "I will have this slipper tried on by all the girls in the kingdom," he announced. The stepsisters, hearing the news, made ridiculous speeches to prepare themselves. Each tried to convince the other that the prince would choose them. But when the time came to try on the slipper, all their comical grimaces and efforts were in vain. The slipper did not fit either of them. Then came Cinderella's moment. Although hesitant, she approached and, surprise! The slipper fit perfectly. What happened next? Like the video and subscribe to the channel to find out and hear more amazing stories. The prince immediately recognized Cinderella as the girl of his dreams. With eyes full of love, he took her hand and asked her to join him in the palace as his bride. Soon after, in a magical celebration, the two were married and the entire kingdom celebrated with dancing, joy, and laughter. Cinderella was now not only living her dream, but proving to everyone that kindness, courage, and a little magic can transform any destiny. And so, their happy ending became a legend. Remember, friends, Cinderella said with a smile, never stop believing in dreams and magic.